Hey folks, I ain't much of a writer, but I gotta tell you about this crazy stuff that happened to me. My name's Jake, and I used to work at this diner out in the boonies, a place called Miller's Diner. Now let me tell you, I ain't superstitious or nothing, but what I saw there, well, it's got me questioning things. It all started on a regular old Tuesday night. The diner was slow, just a few regulars sitting at the counter drinking their coffee. I was behind the counter, wiping down tables and chatting with the folks. That's when I first noticed something strange. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw this plate just lift right off the counter, like someone was picking it up. But there was nobody there. I thought maybe I was seeing things, you know. Maybe I was just tired from working long hours. So I shook it off and went about my business. But then, it kept happening. Plates flying off the shelves, glasses sliding across the counter like they had a mind of their own. I tried to ignore it, pretend like everything was normal, but deep down I knew something was off about that place. One night things took a turn for the worse. I was closing up the diner, locking the doors, and turning off the lights when I heard this whispering coming from the kitchen. It was like 100 voices all talking at once, but I couldn't make out a single word. I mustered up the courage to go check it out, and when I stepped into the kitchen, I saw it. A shadowy figure standing in the corner just watching me with these dark, empty eyes. I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I was frozen in place like I was trapped in some kind of nightmare. That's when I started digging into the history of Miller's Diner, trying to make sense of what was happening. Turns out the place had a dark past. Back in the 1950s, there was this waitress named Sarah who worked there. She was a sweet girl, always smiling and chatting with the customers, but one day she disappeared without a trace. Nobody knew what happened to her. Some said she ran off with a fella, others said she got caught up in something she shouldn't have. But the truth was far worse than anyone could have imagined. I found out that Sarah had been murdered right there in the diner. Her body was buried beneath the floorboards, hidden from sight for decades. And now her spirit was trapped there, haunting the place and seeking revenge on anyone who dared to cross her. I tried to warn the others, tell them about the curse that lingered in that diner. But nobody believed me. They just laughed it off, said I was seeing things. But I knew the truth, and I knew I had to get out of there before it was too late. In the end, it was Sarah who found me. She appeared to me one last time, her ghostly figure hovering in the darkness. And then, just like that, she was gone. But her presence lingered, a reminder of the horrors that lurked within those walls. So that's my story. Call me crazy if you want, but I know what I saw that night. And I'll never forget the terror of facing the wrath of Sarah, the haunted waitress of Miller's Diner. I ain't been back to that diner since that night, and I ain't planning on ever going back. Some things you just can't explain, you know? But one thing's for sure. That place ain't right. It's like it's cursed or something. A dark shadow hanging over it that no amount of scrubbing can ever wash away. I've tried to put it all behind me, tried to forget about the things I saw and the nightmares that still haunt me to this day. But some memories, they stick with you, like a stain that won't come out no matter how hard you scrub. I reckon there's more to this world than meets the eye. Things lurking in the shadows that we can't even begin to understand. And maybe, just maybe, there's some truth to them old ghost stories after all. So, if you ever find yourself wandering out in them remote towns, tread carefully, my friends, because you never know what secrets lie hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek the truth. As for me, I'll stick to telling my story, trying to make sense of the madness that consumed me that fateful night at Miller's Diner. And who knows, maybe one day I'll find the answers I've been searching for, and finally put this nightmare behind me for good. But until then, I'll keep watching from the sidelines, warning others of the dangers that lurk in the darkness, waiting to strike when you least expect it. So be careful out there, my friends, and never underestimate the power of a ghostly spirit seeking vengeance from beyond the grave. And remember, the next time you step into a diner in them remote towns, keep one eye open and one foot out the door, 'cause you never know when the past might come back to haunt ya.